So, how are you doing?
I'm good. Busy.
Yeah.
Too busy.
Did you get your workout in?
I did. It was good. Eventually.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is great. I know it's so funny too because it was like I literally messaged you and I was like, "Oh God, that's annoying."
Wait, what you said? Or what I said?
Just because I was just like, like giving you the little speech, and then I was also like, "She already knows that. You don't have to be annoying."
No, you're fine. I had other people mess me too, and I'm like, I'm not saying it for sympathy. I'm just in a weird mental space with the gym right now. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I totally understand what you mean because it's just like lately, like my forearms have been like overstimulated when I'm in the gym, and I'm just like, am I gripping too hard? And I'm just using too much forearm strength, but like they hurt. Like they're sore, and I never train
Huh.
forearms. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is odd, damn cat hair. But I don't know, like little things like I don't know. Is it the weather? Like it's raining right now out here, so I'm like, have I just reached that age where my bones are gonna hurt because of the weather?
Could be.
I'm like,
Too cold,
man,
your bones hurt, your joints hurt, everything hurts.
I did notice that I am at the age now where if I am overexhausted from work, I just need to take the next day off from the gym. Like there is no point in going to the gym and feeling like you're a hamster on a wheel going nowhere. Like I'm just like, I'm like, didn't eat enough food. I'm not going because I'm not going to get bummed out because I didn't have a good lift. You know?
That's crazy too, because when you're younger, you can just push through that and just, run
Yeah,
on E for like a week. And then it's like as you get older,
yeah,
mm-mm.
yeah. So, but I mean, my clothes. It's so funny too because like my weight went up 4 pounds, but my clothes have gotten looser on me in the waist and tighter in the arms and the chest and back
That's a
area.
good
So I'm like, all
sign, right?
right. I'm like, don't preach that, don't preach something to somebody else and you're not going to follow it yourself.
Yeah.
So
And those numbers just, they're just numbers at the end of the day.
I know, because it's like I haven't even really done any cardio either. So I'm like, what am I really
Me
tripping about?
either.
But then also tell myself like I have like a month and a week to cut a little bit of weight for something that I have planned in March.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Weird, because I got
so
something planned around the same time.
yeah, I'm going to Disneyland.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're lying.
No, I'm just kidding. Um, I know it was so funny too because it was like Mikey was like giving me crap about it, and he was just like, he's like, you call yourself a real Star Wars fan? Like, how can you be a real Star Wars fan and you haven't even gone to Galaxy's Edge yet? He's like, just take the days off from work, and I'm like, I don't think you realize how much I work because you're always gone on the road. You know what I mean? So like we went and seen Liz Millie. She's this famous comedian. She's from the East Coast. And I've always wanted to see her. Like I found her years ago. She's like severely dyslexic. She did a seminar one time in this college. She's like graduated college with like a BA. She's a published author and she's like become quite successful, even though she's like really, really dyslexic. So I've always wanted to watch her. I've watched her comedy, but I've always wanted to see her live. Like she's on my bucket list. But she doesn't come out to the West Coast that often. Like she goes to Europe and all these other places, but she only hits like the big spots when she comes to, to California, like LA, San Diego. Well, I just happened to be on Instagram, and you know how like you're scrolling through like not reels, but like the stories, and then in between the stories there's ads.
Mm-hmm.
One was for the El Rey, and they do a comedy night at El Rey that I had no idea, and it was her. So I messaged her because I've like messaged her back and forth on Instagram from time to time, and she's always replied. Like she's, fairly, responsive. And I was like, "Are you coming to Chico?" And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'll be there on Thursday." And she sent me the link. So I was like, "Oh crap, okay, cool." So I sat there and I bought the tickets real quick, and then I told Michael like, "Hey, let's come with me. Like, let's go do something. You always say we don't do anything. Like, let's go do something." And then so as the reason why I'm saying this is like on the drive to Chico, like I'm explaining to him how much I work and what I've been doing, and he's like, "Okay, I understand why you haven't gone to Galaxy's Edge yet." He's like, "But you need to request the days off and just go." He's like, "I'll go
Just
with
need,
you." Like,
yeah, just need to make the time.
yeah, yeah, and that's
Even
where
if all
like I
you do
really
is
have to
spend
like,
time in Galaxy's Edge, like it's 100% worth it.
yeah, well, and that's where like I just realized that like the reason why I'm saying it is you can do anything you want to do if you prioritize it, and we have become such a generation of like, well, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. Like, forget it. Just do it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's why I was like, okay, forget it. Like, I'm gonna go. I was like, I'm gonna go in April. I'm just like, even if I just get on like a plane and just go myself and meet him out there, like I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
So
since I know you got to go to work here in, soonish. You told me to write down. We're just gonna kick it off with the Palpatine immortality thing because I'm kind of curious to hear about that. It's been a couple weeks of me waiting to hear.
I don't even remember what I said.
Oh my god, I was afraid that you're gonna do that. You just told me you're like, I was watching this thing and I was thinking about this and about Palpatine's immortality. Write it down so I don't forget. That's all I got from you. I don't know what you're watching either.
Well, I've watched Revenge of the Sith twice in the last 2 weeks. Um, and I was watching. Lena started the Clone Wars because she's been really sick, so she's just been laying on the couch watching Clone Wars over again. Um, and I was watching the Bad Batch, but I
You should
don't.
have written it down.
I should have, but it was like it's so funny too because I do remember when I sent you that I was cleaning the living room, throwing away trash, doing the cat litter, and getting ready for the gym all at the same time instead of just doing one at a time. Um,
You had a lot
Shocker,
going on in
right?
your brain.
Yeah, and then it just popped in my head. Dang it! I will remember though. I'll remember, and then I'll go from there. I think it had something to do with so in I don't know if anybody's seen Bad Batch yet, but if you have, I'm about to spoil some stuff. At the end of season 2, um, let's come back around to them saying that Tech's alive. Everybody's
Yeah, I want to
theorizing
discuss
it
that.
on, yeah. So they're gonna play very heavily into, I think, this season of the Bad Batch to make episode 9 make more sense. Like they're giving the back context to how he was able to. So I was like, oh, they must have used, because the Metachlorians, like they've hinted this whole time that Omega is force sensitive. Well, Django wasn't force sensitive. So how did you manipulate the metachlorians inside of Omega to make her force sensitive, or how did you splice to make her force sensitive? What did you combine the genetics of, like, because again, like even in Obi-Wan, they have all those Jedi like frozen in tombs, right? So you have
Yeah.
their DNA. So I'm wondering if the Bad Batch are going to go back there and blow up that place, and then they move all the other ones because that's where some of the Jedi are, that are frozen, and then they're going to move them to the Inquisitors in Emporium, or I don't remember the name of it, Quizentorium or something. So I'm thinking that they're going to use Omega's blood and splice together to make the offspring of Palpatine, which is going to make Rey,
Oh, I see what
which
you're
is
saying.
which is gonna which is gonna explain Rey, because so they make these other kids of him, his offspring, but some of them aren't force sensitive. Well, it's going to be a generational thing, just like how, like, you can have brown hair 3 generations, and then out pops this kid like I did with red hair and blonde hair, but somewhere down the line everybody had red hair. Like the
Yeah.
Arroyos on my mom's side of the family are all blonde and red haired, light skinned with blue and green eyes. So it's like my mom had brown eyes, my cousin has brown eyes, my aunt has brown eyes, I have brown eyes, Zoe has green eyes.
That is kind of crazy how
you
that
know
happens with genetics.
hmm yeah. So I'm thinking that's what I think. I remember vaguely now what I was doing, because like I'm replaying it in my head, me walking around in the living room and everything that I was doing, and that's what it was.
Yeah, that would make
Isn't it
sense
weird
though,
that,
because
like,
I think
how,
they are trying to tie everything in together so people aren't mad. As
like,
mad, at least.
ret retcon it? Is that how you say it? Redcon it. I don't know. So, but let's talk about tech.
I wonder if have you seen? Well, what are you seeing about him? Because I've seen some things.
They're just trying to say they're just trying to say that he's still alive. This and that. I don't want it. As much as, like, I liked the character, I don't want it. And here's the
See,
reason why
I
I don't
saw.
want it.
Well, you go
Go
first.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I saw somebody was thinking it's the part in the trailer where it's got all the. I think it's the stormtroopers. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but there's that leader in front of them, but he's not.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like them, so people are thinking maybe they got him and brainwashed him or whatever, and is now part of his army or their army, and he's like leading them because he's got the little helmet on. So people are trying to say that too.
Okay, so in the Republican commando books that are no longer canon, um there is a batch of clone troopers who are, um that Palpatine commissioned to get made on Coruscant. And in there's some of the other troopers that are talking to them, and they're asking them what their names are. And they're like, they're like, what are you talking about? They don't even have CT numbers. They're like they're like the beginnings of the stormtroopers. So they're like, my number is KT5126. And they're like, no, what's your name? And then they're like, wait, they don't have stormtrooper numbers, right? So they think it's very odd. And then, they're asking them to recite this, like, Omada, because in the books, they all speak Mandalore, because the 6 original people that trained them were all Mandalorians. So they have, like, this brother code, and none of them can recite it. So they're like, So Palpatine, like, made these clones in 4 to 5 years on Coruscant undercover for his own legion. Um, so I'm thinking that's what these new clone troopers are going to be, because you already seen one in the second. You already seen one in the second season of Bad Batch. So I'm wondering if with everything that they're doing there at that base, I'm wondering if that's what these clones are going to be.
Unless, well, when is Bad Batch in the timeline?
It's like 5. It leads after Order 66, going a couple of years. So it's after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. Well, because I'm thinking like, well, what if Tech is dead, but it's still Tech, but it's not Tech, you know? Since we got a taste of the zombie troopers, but I think that's further down the road, huh?
Yeah, that's way further down the road, and those
That's what I thought.
were manipulated by the
By the dead sisters.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the
And
Night
like
Sisters.
and like the whole reason why like I don't want him to be alive is because like his death was something significant. His death
Yeah.
like was a blow to the squad.
Yeah.
And you can't bring him back like Echo got brought back. It would just be
That's
too
true.
much of the same thing. You know, it would
And
just
it
be
is
too
just one of
much.
those like ongoing thing with Star Wars. It's like, oh, you know, that they killed that person off, he's just gonna come back. And so I think that's just not gonna be a good look for them.
Yeah. Well, and it's just one of those scenes too where it's just like, I mean, like realistically, like what do you really want when it comes down to it? Like you want your storyline to progress and you want your main characters to have development and growth, and you're not going to be able to develop and you're not going to be able to have growth if you're just regurgitating the same old theme.
Yeah. But it's like they should have killed off Wrecker or something. Like, why Tech?
Maybe Wrecker's gonna die in this season and sacrifice himself.
Maybe that's okay. He can do that. I'm not that attached
You
to him.
know. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it's gonna be a good
I
season,
don't
though.
think so. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna. I don't feel like it's the last that we're gonna see the characters either. I think they're
so.
gonna
I
get
know they said
they're gonna.
it's the last season, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna appear somewhere else.
Yeah. Why has my hair always got a poof? I like your droid in the background.
My R3P5, my little reps.
Yeah. I was looking so I was looking at getting a chair so that I can have like one specific spot to like film in so that it's not like always just random in a blank wall, because I was just like, I was like, well, maybe I'll film here. And then I was like, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll film here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in my room. And then one of my friends bought me this really cool Boba Fett poster, like canvas painting, I guess you'd say. And it's like multiple pieces. So I'm going to put that up on my wall. And I think that's what I'm going to have as the background when we shoot from now on. I just haven't had any days off to put it up.
I can help you.
So
in the near future.
Okay. You just gotta get a stepping stool. Oh wait, no, I have 2 of them because Zoe has 2 of them, so we're covered.
Oh my gosh!
So, no.
How do you think I got these up?
Randall.
My chair, actually, no, I did them all by myself.
Oh, well, I guess we got to give you praise then.
Yeah. And they're straight and everything. I used a tape measure and a level thingy, and yeah.
That's funny. Oh yeah. What's the next topic?
Those are the only topics I had. I've been so busy.
Me too.
And I haven't really seen anything. I mean, I'm jealous of everybody at, what is it, MegaCon? That's why I wore my Anakin shirt, because I can't be there.
I know. So I was seeing that, and I was seeing all the people. Is that in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think you should look. You should look into what's coming in Ohio, where there's going to be a bunch of people, and then maybe I'll fly out. So,
Yeah. I want to go to the C2 E2, but that's in Chicago. But that's like 5 hours from me. I'm
oh,
willing to
that's
drive
not
that.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like going to that's like going a little bit further than San Francisco. That's nothing.
Yeah. So I'm
So,
like going to
yeah, no,
Monterey.
yeah, literally. I know because it was like, so when we were on the drive too, Mikey was like, well, what's like, because we were talking about Galaxy's Edge and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I was like, the only thing that I did regret from last year was not just saying F it and flying out to Florida. Because like my plan was like, I kind of was going to like surprise you and just like fly out there and go to Galaxy's Edge just for the day and then fly back. But it was literally like in between like a holiday weekend where we were going to be busy
Mm-hmm.
slash our anniversary. So like when I looked at the flight, I was explaining it to him. I was like, I would have to leave at 4 o'clock in the morning here to get to Orlando by like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to go to Galaxy's Edge, to stay there, to sleep for 4 or 5 hours, to get back on a plane, to come out here to try to make it out. And it was like, I think the round trip, I was going to be flying probably like 16, 17 hours. And I was just like, I
It's not
can't
worth it for
do
the day.
that.
Like if it was the
Well, I
weekend,
just,
it's not too bad. But for a day, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because I was literally going to like fly out the morning of day and then fly back out that night. So
And it's
I was like,
stressful.
no. And then come back to work the next day. So I was like, no, can't do it. Can't do it.
Freaking work.
So,
Always gonna ruin everything.
and I took Lena to go get a crown. It's so funny too because it's like you have these young adults and they're just she's like, so Western Dental didn't do a good job on my tooth, so I had to go to another dentist to get a crown put on because they didn't do the filling right. So can I call Western Dental and tell them to give me my money back since they didn't do a good job and I have to pay more money?
Oh man. It
And I was
sucks
like,
growing
no,
up.
you can't. Yeah, I was like, you can't. She's like, why? That's not fair. She's like, why do I have to spend more money because they didn't do their job? They should be paying for it. And I was like, that's not how it works, but I'll take you to your dentist in Yuba City. So while I was out there, it was so funny. So she got her crown. She's all happy. She's like, I'm never going back to Western Dental. I was like, told you. Um, but while we were out there, we went to the Marysville toy store and I actually found one of the Mandalorian loyaltists that I've been missing, and I got it for like $35, and online it's like $80. So I was like, heck yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild.
His I know his prices are fairly reasonable. Like it's not anything like overly priced. So I was like, heck yeah. I was like,
Outrageous.
yeah. So I was super stoked. So I was like, that's another Mandalorian knocked off the bucket list. So I was like, hell yeah.
I am not spending anything this month. I told myself that. Only essentials
Good.
this month. Yep, I said, you know what?
That's good.
I said I'm just going to save all my money and only buy things I need. So if I want something, I'm just gonna have to be strong and tell myself no.
I know
Or move that money into savings.
I went on to Bri Brinks's affiliate link for that clothing company, and I was looking at some of the shirts and I was just like, oh god, I'm about to spend a couple $100 on t-shirts, but they were pretty dope.
Yeah.
So I was like, heck yeah. And my justification for some of them were like, well, I did just buy a new pair of shoes and I don't have any t-shirts to go with them. So therefore I should get
Gotta
these
match
shirts
my
because they
shoes.
have shoes that I can't wear. So I
You and
was
your damn
able to
shoes.
hit I know. I was able to hit T-bar row yesterday for the first time in probably a year, and I didn't have any pain.
Really? Look at
Yeah,
you.
I know. But I've been really strengthening my lower back and like strengthening my core so that when I do those awkward movements, I don't feel compromised.
And hurt yourself.
Yes.
You're not a spring
So,
chicken anymore.
yeah, I know. I'm a seasoned chicken.
Yeah, very seasoned.
Over. No.
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
I think I've officially gotten to that part or point in the gym where like I no longer care about like people lifting bad. And that sounds probably horrible, but like I was thinking about it, like people are going to just ego lift regardless. There's nothing that you can do, there's nothing that you can say. Um you just got to let them ego lift,
That kind of happened
you
today,
know.
actually. There's this guy. I really like him, but I was squatting, but I'm doing like a progressive overload program. So I'm in the week now of
Mhm.
doing like 10 to 12 reps instead of like 15 reps. And I think that's going to help too with my benching a plate because I think I'm just mentally can't get over that. But if I ease into it each week, I think it'll be easier. But he's
Yeah.
like, I know you're not
Yeah.
squatting that because I had 25s on there. He's like, I know you can squat more than that. I said, yeah, I can squat more than that, but I'm only trying to hit like 10 or 12 reps. And he was like, why? Just lift heavy. I
Yeah.
was like, because I'm doing progressive overload. He goes, I don't even know what that means. I was like, that means I'm progressively overloading the weight each week because I started a new program
Yeah.
and I don't want to hurt myself either because I'm not an ego
Yeah.
lifter, especially with
Yes,
squatting.
literally.
And like people don't realize, like, when you do high reps, it kills you. Like, you get a lot of benefit out of that.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I did the damn, what is I forget the name of the bar. The one with the handles in front of you. Darn it, what is it called? So that I could back squat.
Oh, where it's got on the shoulders and it's got the handles up front.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know what it's called, but
What was the name? I forget the name of it. But I had what? A 45 on each side and the bar's 70 pounds. So like, one something. And I was just doing sets of 8 to 10, but I wanted to see how it felt because it's been a long time since I've done back squats. So I was just doing it, just slow and control. I just like right now I'm just going tempo. I'm really focusing on that mind muscle connection and
mm-hmm.
just like trying to like flood as much blood into that muscle. Um and the reason
I feel
why
like a
like I
lot of
was
people
saying it
don't
was like,
realize that. Like that's got
yeah,
so much benefit to it.
yeah. I was like watching this guy like hit like a hammer strength uh lat pull down machine that was right in front of me, and he's just pulling with his arm. Like there's no lat engagement whatsoever. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just on the machine right in front of him. So he's like directly in front of me. So like I have no, reason not to look at him as I'm like trying to look at myself in the mirror. And the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, like, you wonder why you're catching such a fat pump in your biceps. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because you're not using the
man.
right muscle.
Yeah. And I'm just over there with just like a plate and a 25, just like la da da, squeezing, holding,
Minding your own
you know?
business.
Yeah. And I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, who cares? I'm like, don't even, don't even bother talking to them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mind my own business.
Yeah. I don't, dude, I don't know if you remember me telling you about like a young man who was like wanting to squat ass to grass with like 315, 405.
Yeah.
And he came over and asked me to spot him. And I was like, dude, I'm like, how much have you ever lifted? And he's just like, well, I've never gone heavier than 225, but I want to try it. Well, I see him in the gym all the time, and he's just like, he reminds me of Jason Genova. That's this like famous YouTuber slash Instagrammer from Florida. He's got like Asperger's or something. But he just does like wild stuff in the gym. So that's kind of like who he reminds me of. So the other day he was just like, he just like walks up in mid set, like you're literally in the middle of curling and he's trying to talk to you, or you're like in the middle of trying to do something and he comes and talks to you. So like I give him the benefit of the doubt because like he seems kind of like he's on the spectrum, you know what I mean? And I'm generally cordial to everybody. But he's just like, you're a bigger guy, because this guy's only like 5 foot 5'1". He's like, you're a bigger guy, like why are you lifting so light? Like I don't like, he's like, why aren't you just repping out? And I'm like, because I don't ego lift. And he's just like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm working out, like this is part of my program. He's like, yeah, but you could be like pushing more weight, that looks really easy. And I'm like, but it's not. Like if you're really contracting the muscle, I think at the time I was doing like incline bench and I only had like the 45 dumbbells, but it was like I was coming down slow, pausing, and then coming up slow and contracting. um so it was just like a constant tension and constant squeeze. And like I'm explaining it to him and he's just like, and you can see like he kind of understands but he doesn't understand. I was like, just try it, just try it. And then like he grabs like the 70s and is just bouncing. And I'm like, good job, dude, good job.
Yeah, not what I was saying, but okay.
Just had to walk
But it's
away.
like, yeah, there's so much more than
like,
just lifting heavy and just trying to push yourself to the max. And it's not good for your body to do that all the time. I mean, I guess for young, it's not as bad, but I don't know. As you get older, it's like that time under tension and the muscle connection is just 100% better, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel stronger at the end of my workout than I do at the beginning of my workout now, too. Like it probably takes a good 30-40 minutes of doing a couple of things for me to like have that blood in the muscle, you know what I mean? Feel warmed up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And see, and that's not to say like, because my
Definitely.
programming, like I said, the progressive overload, like by the end of the program, you're only doing like 4 to 6 reps, and then you have that one max rep. And so it is cool to see yourself hit that one max rep, but that's within 8 to 10 weeks of me slowly working that weight up and just pushing myself where I'm not going to get hurt just walking in the gym and pushing it. 'Cause that's what that guy was saying too. He's like, you going to hit a plate today? I said, I don't feel confident hitting a plate right now. He's like, I haven't been in the gym enough. I'm going to just ease into it and just keep working my way up. He's like, I keep telling you, just 5 sets of 35s. I said, yeah, but that's not working for me mentally. This is going to work for me mentally, I think. We're all different.
If you can do 10 sets of 10 with the 25s, it'll build up the strength to hit that one set with the plate.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is you need to do push-ups every day. When you wake up, you need to do at least 10 to 15 push-ups. Before you go to sleep, you need to do at least 10 to 15 push-ups.
That's awful.
It'll help.
It'll awful help. Though. I hate push-ups.
But I know, but it'll help. Like, trust me.
I remember when you made me do a push-up when I first started working with you. I think it was you. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, no, couldn't do a push-up.
Yeah. It'll definitely help. And then you need to band afterwards and just do like 2 sets banded and just flood that freshly torn muscle full of blood so that it builds up stronger.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it was so funny too. Okay, so the last couple of nights, like, like I watch random like Star Wars stuff on YouTube, and like people are like, it's almost like trivia, and they're like, oh, this and this and this, and I'm like just answering the questions. And I was like, damn, I was like, like I do have a lot of Star Wars knowledge. I was like, I know a lot about it. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
can
do.
just like, I was like, dude, I was like, we should do like a stump and like create like 5 questions each that the other person has to answer and see who can stump who or
You
who
would
can get the
definitely
most
stump me
right.
100%.
Like my memory popped up like a day ago of us in the gym and you're like the blue guy with the pew 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 pew, and I was like, you call yourself a Star Wars fan and you don't know, and you're like, with the double gun pew 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 pew.
Oh my gosh. I'm not good at names, okay?
I know, but I thought it would be funny.
That would be funny.
So
Little trivia night thing.
yeah, I just
Speaking of,
started following. Go ahead.
following who?
Provision.
Provision. Oh,
The
the
they used to be the. Yeah, I started following them because they're doing trivia night every Tuesday down there, and I missed some pretty good ones like Jurassic Park and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna start
get on
following them
it.
again. I
Can
know.
we do a virtual one? I'll show up on your phone.
I'm all, there's a lag. There's a lag. Yeah,
I'm all screaming the answer afterwards.
yeah, literally. I'm all, Mariah. That was 2 questions ago.
Oh my gosh.
What were
You
you
can
gonna
just
say?
mute me. Oh,
Yeah.
we had those questions.
Oh yeah. What were they?
Hold on, I gotta find them. Wasn't prepared. Here we go.
Mariah.
Okay, so we did the first
So
3 last time. 1, 2, 3. Did we do? We ended
you
on
weren't
favorite
prepared.
animated series. I was, though, kind
You
of.
did.
I had 2 topics prepared. I just forgot about the questions. Okay, moving back
What
on
were
to
the
Star
first?
Wars. The first 3
What was the
questions we already
first?
answered were the 3 favorite movies, 3 favorite live action series, and our 3 favorite animated series of Star Wars, obviously.
Okay.
So you want the next 3 questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Your 3 favorite characters. It's hard to pick only 3.
Well, so I would say for overall character development, my 3 favorite characters would be Anakin Skywalker because the Clone Wars really gave him you got a good understanding of why he fell to the dark side.
Yeah.
So for character development reasons, I'd say Anakin Skywalker. I really like what they did with Bo-Katan because you've gotten a really good arc with her as well. And then I would say for animated, right? Is that what you said?
No, just favorite characters in general for Star Wars.
Oh, just favorite characters in Star Wars in general.
Yeah.
Um,
So it could be animated or whatever.
my third would have to be well,
Hard
as a
one.
kid, yeah, it is hard because, well, like as a kid, like I really liked Boba Fett, and it was just like it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those scenes where like you didn't really know much about him in the movies. You didn't know much about him when Kenner I think Kenner's the one that re-released the stuff, the Power of the Force 2 action figures. You get a bio in the back, kind of like you did with GI Joe, and everything was mysterious about the character. So that
Which everybody
made you
loves stuff
think
like that.
and made you use your imagination. So therefore, like he was my favorite character because he was so mysterious. So I'd have to say Boba Fett, even though it's pretty cliche. And his ship is the Slave One. It's not the Fire Spreader, or whatever they've named it now.
What did they name
What
it?
are your 3?
I swear. My 3 are obviously
Fire.
I had to put Anakin / Darth Vader. Duh. This was really hard though for me. Ahsoka Tano, I put a second, and Maul has third. But it was a toss-up.
You
Same thing. I
know,
loved Boba Fett growing up because of the same reason. But it's just so hard.
yeah, those other two are great. Again, from that like character development, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody hated Ahsoka. Everybody hated Ahsoka,
No,
and
look at
now
her.
she's a fan favorite. And what they did with Maul, so good,
Oh yeah,
so good. You know,
agreed.
and just finding out like what Lucas had planned for Maul. Like Maul was never supposed to die.
Right. It would have been
You know,
so
like
cool to see that. Oh,
yeah. So,
but
but
whatever.
we got a better version from Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next question?
What are your top 3 favorite droids?
Hmm.
And I didn't give you these beforehand so you can think about them. You're just on the spot.
I know, literally. Um. Well, I would say you have to go with R2. Um.
Coffee.
And then I would say R3KT, which if you don't, do you know who she is? Who the droid is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
there was this young girl back in like the early 2000s who was like
Is
a
it the
huge
pink
Star
one?
Wars fan. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I know
And
what you're
like
talking about. Yes.
yeah, her make-a-wish was to have a droid made for her while she was going through chemo and everything. Well, she ended up she ended up passing along, you know, and she didn't make it through, but the droid has carried on and has like done so many cool things for like children that are sick and stuff. So that's going to have to be my second one cuz I think that's
I
really
do like
cool.
that.
And my third mm, I really liked the commando droids in the Clone Wars, and it because it made you think too, like had the Separatists had the amount of money to make more of those commissioned, how much it would have played a factor in their favor because they were free
Forgot about
thinking
those
droids
droids.
that acted independently, like they didn't have they had a program and they just did what they wanted to, and they had
Yeah.
vibro swords. Like, come on now. What are your three?
Chopper.
Wait. Let me guess. Let me
Obviously.
guess.
Oh,
Chopper.
yeah.
Did you say Chopper?
Yeah.
uh,
And then R2, obviously. I like the sassy droids. And then I picked IG-11 for my last one. Because he's sassy. It's his little attitude.
of course.
Don't roll your eyes at me.
So,
Okay, last one. Your favorite
mhm.
creatures.
Ooh.
Right?
Mm, well, wouldn't an Ewok be a creature technically, or do they fall under species?
Probably species, I would think. Because they're
Okay.
like, they have like a language and stuff. So yeah, no, that's not a creature.
Well, I like the Rancors.
Of course.
I would have liked to see a Rancor battle, like in an arena, like a gladiator setting, and you fight your Rancors.
That would
I
be
always thought that
cool.
would be so. I liked a Rancor. I liked damn, I've never really thought about this.
There's so many
I
different
like when
creatures
they
too.
I like when they showed the Gundars in the Clone Wars and they had four arms and they were like kind of like apish looking. That was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
cool. because it's like when you only got that quote from Han in I think what uh episode 4, and he's like, he's like gonna tear your arms off. But I don't know. Those would probably be the two. I don't know. I didn't care the way that the mythosaur looked, even though you only got like that side glimpse of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what are your 3?
The Purgle, because I was obsessed with whales when I was a kid, and I think whales are really cool creatures, and so the fact that there is space whales was even cooler.
Okay.
Then a Rancor, obviously. And then my last one's a Loth Cat because they're cute.
The Loth Cats were pretty cool. They actually
Right.
just Hasbro just announced a 2-pack with Chopper and the Bean, and in the Chopper packet you get 2 different Loth Cats.
They look cute. They're adorable. I know everyone talked crap about them on Ahsoka, like how they were made, but I'm like, I still thought they were cute.
I like the realism and animatronic aspect of it because that's what Star Wars is.
Yes.
I think that's why, like it's not all CGI.
Mm-hmm.
You need some of that realism and that old, outdated technology to show up so that it feels more rooted in the lore.
Yes, I agree.
Oh wow, my nails are sharp. I just like scratched my leg and I was like, oh man, I need to cut my nails.
Ooh, that hurt.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Oh God.
You want to do Star Wars trivia?
Star Wars conversation. We'll end with this. Okay. 1, 2. Just picking random. 3. Okay. First one. Characters. Boba Fett hires Jabba the Hutt's Romanian Gamorrean. Gamorrean? Gamorrean? How do you say that? Guards?
Gamorrean.
Okay. Gamorrean guards when he becomes Tatooine's new. Oh my god, these words are weird. Daimyo. Daimyo? Would you have done the same? Why or why not? Wait, Boba Fett hires Jabba the Hutt, remaining Gamorrean guards when he becomes Tatooine's new. Would you have done the same? So would you have hired the remaining Gamorrean guards?
Yeah, because their loyalty is they're loyal. You know what I mean? They're loyal. They're gonna serve whoever. So yeah. And plus, if they die out, you can just get more.
I guess that's true. So might as well just have them while they're there. I'll go with that answer too, because I don't know. I know how to say the freaking word. Okay. Second one. The galaxy. If you were a scoundrel in the galaxy far, far away, would you rather work as a smuggler or a bounty hunter? Why? A bounty hunter. No.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah, a bounty hunter. Mm-hmm. Because smugglers just, nah.
Yeah. What is my Facebook profile?
Your Facebook profile? What is it?
It says that I'm a bounty hunter for the Galactic Republic. That's my job.
Does it say that?
Yeah, it always has.
I guess I've never looked at it. Oh my god, it's bounty hunter. That's funny. Should have known that. All right, last one is technology. Oh man, okay. If you owned the Millennium Falcon, Millennium, I don't know why I had trouble saying that word too. Millennium Falcon. Would you keep it spotless like Lando Calrissian? Oh my god. Or let it get messy like Han Solo? I would keep...
It would be
Can I hire a cleaner? You said a hunk of junk? I'm getting a cleaner. They'll take care of it. At least the inside. I can't have the inside messy.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Those were good questions.
Those were
Good
good
job.
questions. Thank you.
Good job.
Pick of the draw.
So,
All right.
alrighty. Well, I'm gonna get ready for him.
You have so much fun, and that was another fun, exciting episode.
And like, subscribe, comment, links in the bio. And as always, may the force be with you.
Always. All right. Peace out, Girl Scout.
I'm gonna 2, 1, bye.
May the force be with you.